Generally, about your opinion of this whole crackdown upon civil liberties?
To be speaking honestly, I think both the groups, one the Ram Sena and these people who just spoke, are both extremists in some sense, and both of them are doing exactly what each other doesn't want to do. Because you don't need to give so much attention to Mutalik in the first place. The media has already screwed up by giving him that extra political mileage. And on top of that, if these people actually believe it's their right to actually express love, I don't think they need to be fighting it with Mutalik, because he's basically a nobody. Mutalik doesn't enforce things, Mutalik doesn't do anything. In a democracy, he was entitled to have his opinion, but he misused it by getting physical and crossing the borders.
But don't you think that unless you actually come out on the streets and protest, you'll allow that space to be taken over by violent groups?
See, I do accept in some sense, okay, but my personal opinion is that Mutalik's case must have been dealt very, very legally, in the sense that whether him beating up women or men, whoever he beats up is illegal.
But you saw that the judiciary gave, they gave bail to those attackers within a couple of days. So obviously the state has failed, both the government and the judiciary. So isn't it the responsibility of civil society to come on the streets and tell what they think?
See, my problem is not about whether he got bail or not. Because you commit rape, okay, you rape a 3-year-old kid, you'll still get a bail. You're entitled to a bail. So if you're beating up a 20-year-old woman, I think it's a much smaller crime. Maybe I shouldn't be defining, but it's a much smaller crime in any sense.
No, but here the issue was that it was actually recorded on camera. There's absolutely no lack of evidence, and yet the government gave him bail, and it was almost like a slap in the face of civil rights, So isn't it the duty of people generally to come on the streets and protest that?
See, you need to understand one thing. In the legal procedure, if I beat up somebody, there is no way you can be imprisoned because you're my boss. Because if I beat up somebody, legally only action can be taken only against me.
But that's true of the Ram Sena. All of those guys were given bail. Yeah.
That is one. But bail is already there in the system. And I understand these people need to come out and express themselves. But I think they've done it enough and more. Because see, what we don't need at this point of time is there are already so many conflicts, especially in Bangalore. Maybe not as intensifying as Mumbai, but we already have several conflicts, and we don't. Actually, these people don't need to look at Mutalik at all. Because
so whom do we look at? I mean, if there's some atrocity in society, and the government is obviously on the side of the attackers, so what do? We can't just sit quiet and watch it happen, right?
See, on what grounds are you saying the government is on community X's side is my question. Because if somebody gets a bail, it's legal.
No, but that depends on the charge sheet that the police have filed. If it's a lenient charge sheet, then they stand to get bail much easier.
The point is, if you beat up somebody on the road or in the pub, the case is the same, regardless of what group is beating up for what reasons.
But again, that depends on the evidence presented, right?
No, evidence also. If I am an eyewitness for you beating up 5 women here, you will be put behind bars, and you will still be entitled for a bail.
It depends on after how many days and what terms the bail is given. That's also there. It's not like